Good evening and welcome to This Week in Paranormal, your half-hour dive into the mysterious, the unexplained, and the otherworldly. I'm Sean Wagner, your host, through the latest and strangest in all things paranormal. From ghost encounters to UFO sightings, ancient mysteries to modern-day miracles, we'll explore stories that challenge our understanding of the natural world and cultivate our imagination. Tonight, we're also going to have a news segment. I'm going to be talking about the Men in Black. We'll also have, as always, some great paranormal haunting video and pictures, as well as some interesting UFOs pictures as well, or at least alleged to be of the paranormal realm. I'd like to introduce to you my new co-host, Chad Thorpe. How you doing, Chad?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing excellent. By the way, we have good news as far as Michael Purcell is going. He will be taking over Paranormal Files Into the Darkness. So I will help him if he needs help, but it helps alleviate some of my work. So thank you, Michael. And he will be on next Thursday at 7 o'clock. And the following Thursday, guess what, Chad? It's you and I back on the air in 2 weeks.
I'll be waiting.
All right, cool. By the way, who's ever joining us, hello. And thank you for tuning in. And for those of you that have watched my shows for a while, we're at that time. It is time to grab your drink.
Got mine.
All right. I always make sure someone new knows about the toast to a we're at Thursday, dangerously close to the weekend. Yes, I need it badly. But also, of course, to a great show as always.
Always.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. And again, I'm going to post quickly, but please put any questions or comments you have, or questions especially, in all capital letters. And we will get to it as soon as we can. All right. And, okay, that went everywhere. All right, let's begin. Let's get this show on the road. All right, our first video. Go ahead, what?
I'm about to debunk these.
Absolutely. We're going to try to come up with some alternative explanations the best that we can, or at least state what we really think. If we're not sure, that's also what we'll state. All right, 1 second here, and we will have that up on the screen momentarily. Every once in a while, I draw a blank on how to do some of this stuff, too, for a moment or two. All right, there we go. Looks like something got spilled. All right, but let's go anyway.
Ink block test.
It indeed looks like that, yeah. This is exciting video footage of military aircraft chasing 3 UFOs over the Nevada desert.
I figured the last one was a fucking aircraft. Pardon my French.
Uh-oh. Yeah. No problem on the French.
But the first 3, that's, I don't know.
We'll play it again here in a moment or two. It's always tough to, or in some cases, I should say, it's tough to tell exactly what they do.
Right.
Sometimes it's on even like a mobile, I think. I think I did one that was on like a mobile, which is like what a kid uses. As you're a baby, those things you play with up top and that.
Right.
I think that's called mobile, right? Or something like that.
It's been a while since I had a baby, so I don't know.
And I've never. So if you know the answer, please put it in the comments there. I'm close.
That one's hard to say.
Yeah, it looks kind of normal. They're not going overly fast though either.
Yeah, but they're flying in uniform, kind of, except for the one flying ahead.
Well, you might be computer generated.
It's possible.
Although someone does purposely point out here. And it could also be just a plain American airplane, a new jet fighter or something.
That's too round.
It's too round. Well,
But they're not. They're not uniform.
It's what?
They're not uniform. Most, from what I hear, most aliens fly in a uniform flight.
Well, that's possible.
And the fact that the jet can't keep up with them, I don't know.
Oh yes, Rabbit. I'm sorry. Did I not put? Oh yeah, questions, the Rabbit. Thank you. I'm sorry. I meant to put questions. I got to have chat guess a little bit. I can't have it too simple for you guys. Thank you for tuning in, Rabbit. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right. Let's take a move on to the next one.
Any questions or anything? Let me know.
Okay, this is from Reddit. It's going to be, are these orbs or bugs? It comes from Reddit user Wizard Lopan. All right, 1 second here. Uh-oh. There we go. And we're going to share it. Yep, I gotta keep you Chet on your toes as well. Can't be just us.
Right? It ain't fair.
That's right. Hey, unidentified Arkansas phenomenon. Haven't taken notice of seeing it. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Arkansas. For a moment, I thought I had it wrong. Hey, thank you for joining us. And Rabbit, thank you as well. All right. In this picture, you have to watch because the camera's probably in night mode. Whenever you see the lines like this right through here, that's a sign that the camera's in night mode. That means the aperture is staying open longer. And when the aperture is open longer, you get things like this. You get the squiggly lines. You might get lines like this, or however you move the camera, because you're not going to be able to keep that camera steady. Well, excuse me. On one of the earlier episodes, we had on a spirit video photographer episode. Well, that was not an episode. One of our broadcasts was that. And the reality is the aperture on her camera was always in night mode when she took it. And you don't have to have your flash turned on necessarily, but you'll get lines. You can make a figure 8 in that time period. I've done that before, just playing with it, experimenting in particular. So that's what I really think this picture is. And you can see right there is a good one. There's many cases on here too. And roll right here, the big one right there.
Yeah, you can't really determine that that's paranormal because you got 2 other lines behind it.
Correct. And I think they could be still what would it be? It could still be a bugs.
Yeah.
Although most of them are straight lines, so
they're too straight though.
Yeah, too straight to be paranormal. So definitely not a ghost or spirit.
That, and I don't really think the dog would be sitting there because dogs can sense paranormal before us.
Well, that's true. Interestingly enough, the dog is didn't move at all, really, because you can tell because the dog, there's no like line with the dog.
Right.
It looks like the dog didn't move at all the whole time, which is good.
It looks like it's just sitting there.
Hmm. But that's what would cause a picture like this. I also think I do have.
Yeah, and he's not really looking towards the direction of the orbs either.
No.
A dog would normally go towards the direction of the orbs, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. We have another one similar here. We're going to just hit it momentarily here, just for a moment or two. This is what I call like a more classic example of moving the aperture, moving the camera. And you don't know that you move it unless you have it on a tripod. If you have the on night mode, the aperture is open. This is what you're going to get. You can, like I said, you can make any kind of design you want. And this is actually the same person as well, Lopan on Reddit. No, I'm sorry. This is Thirst. It's in the link. Everything's in the link down below, by the way. I forgot to say that, but it is.
I'm going to have to say that's fake right there.
Thirsty Chunk. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is not legit. As far as paranormal goes, it could be somehow they moved the camera.
Yeah.
It could have gotten some kind of dust particle could have been there, or a water particle right here. And as
I don't even know if it's that.
I think the water particle is possible.
I would think they painted the streak on there because the background looks too original to be matching the orb.
And that's the only one that's like heavy in that regard, you mean, as far as the line goes? And thick, and the other ones are pretty narrow, really?
Yeah. Like it pops out. It doesn't stick with the background.
Mm-hmm.
Orbs normally don't stick out.
Well, that's true.
In my opinion.
Either way, though, it's so I wish I could say it was a really good ghost picture.
Right.
But that it's not, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we tend not to have too many good pictures here, I hate to say. Unfortunately.
It is what it is.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. You have the questionable or fake hoaxes on here.
I mean, I'd rather people be reaching out and trying to see orbs and all that ghost phenomenon than having people post fake stuff.
Absolutely. And Rabbit says he could do that with his Microsoft paintbrush.
Yeah.
Painter paintbrush. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why the streak stuck out more than the background, and that's not what you want.
That is true. That's a good point. And that's why I like having a co-host too, because there's things that they'll catch and see that I might not.
It's always good to have a set of eyes.
Absolutely. And by the way, thank you for coming aboard, by the way.
Not a problem.
I greatly appreciate that. All right. Here we have a picture. It's one moment here.
Is it a picture or video?
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Let me clarify. It's a video. I think it's from the UK. I'm a little bit off on that part. My apologies. This is on a Nest Cam at the person's grandmother's house. Reddit user Euphoric Fish Boy. All right, let's get back on here and forward the camera along, and here we go. This is similar to the droplet on the camera, which I'm still not sure how that one was what exactly occurred. And this one again goes down, and then it goes a slight upward trajectory again. I don't know how that would be.
That one's a tough one.
It's not moving fast.
No. Orbs usually move a little bit quick.
Oh yeah. I don't think it's a deliberate hoax or purposeful fake.
Right. I think it's just a misinterpretation.
Okay. Again, thank you, Rabbit. Rabbit is another idea. Awesome. Bug over camera lens at night with IR.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That would make sense. That would be the most logical thing. Because
I
bugs can
got
move lower than
surveillance
night.
on my cameras, and it's pretty similar.
Yes, and your dad, he is my group's tech manager, and we were doing an investigation in Port Trevorton, PA, and we had something on camera. It was like a ghost going from like point A to point B, and we figured out probably was a bug or a spider. Um, so that's a good example of that. Thank you, Rabbit.
Yeah, you got to take into consideration about speed.
Yes, and also bug's probably the one from last time too. More than likely, is the same thing as last time. All right.
If people
Now we
see
have
me
a
going
UFO.
close to my face or not, it's because I'm trying to look at the video.
I'm sorry?
If people see me moving close to my face and whatnot, it's because I'm trying to look at the video.
Oh, wait a second here. All right. And Rabbit says, same here. Always clean spider webs out from the lens.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. That's something I should consider doing at my house. I don't have anything set up as far as that goes.
I do, and it fucking sucks.
Oh, it sucks?
Yes. I
I got to
see
admit, though,
spiders
other people
crawling
too
down from my
around me.
cameras.
All right. We'll get back here in a moment. Thank you, Fresh, for coming in. We'll get your comment in a moment. Thank you for tuning in. Here we have clear video footage of a UFO. And, one second here. Filmed in the sky from Los Angeles. I'll make sure we're sharing it here. I'm not sure we are here yet. Nope, we're not. Okay, one second here. Now we are. We bring it on up. Make sure. Okay, yep.
Where is this at?
This is from Los Angeles.
Right there says it all.
That almost looks like a since like the person in the camera could be like moving up and down themselves, and that thing's like a chandelier with lights hanging on the outside. Because my
Not
sister, I don't know about the lights down below, but she and her husband got from a bank a beautiful big ass chandelier that had all kinds of light bulbs on the outside. Really impressive looking. Literally, it was probably like 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet around.
What's funny is she's not even moving the camera to follow it. Like if that was a
True.
UFO, she would actually follow it.
You're right. She would be seeing it. She might be taking a picture more of this scenery, and this could be a you think a computer generation maybe?
Yeah, that has to be because if that were me, I'd be following that.
I would agree. I definitely would too. And you figure a drone wouldn't be like that, would it?
No, Joan don't have that many lights, and they're too bright.
I guess that is pretty bright. That would be very bright for a drone.
Drone only has maybe like 4, maybe 6 lights on it.
Okay. But they're not
Well,
that big.
they gotta be different colors, not
You're right,
just
because you
white.
have what do you have, like red and green on those things?
Yes, you're supposed to by law.
Or just by law, okay.
I have a drone, and yeah, that's not a drone.
All right. I have a cheap drone that I got years ago that I flew like just once or twice.
Oh, it's hard with the winds these days now.
Oh, I can imagine. All right.
Technically, you don't want to fly them when the winds are high.
That's a good point. All right. We had some comments. Thank you, Fresh, for tuning in. It looks like it is walking on the ground and not in any form of suspension. It also has a tail and walks like a quadruped. We all know that on video, things are slower.
It's a good point, though.
That's probably in regards to the lens from last time, the one from
Oh,
last time, I think. And Mr. Wagner, right back at you, Fresh. And Rabbit Chandelier, good theory. Can't explain that one. Yes, she would follow it, or she was watching without camera and aim was off. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what it is. I don't think it was a hoax at the time it was shot. I think it could have became embellished, we'll say.
right.
Is my best. And your father has joined us.
Oh,
yes,
my God.
Jim Thorpe, JT's aerial videos. Hey, Jim, how are you, man? You can hang lights from the bottom. He has an alternative on the drone. All right. We're going to move on to the next one. And we'll see what we get. All right. We have a picture. Ghost Con on camera from Reddit.
Oh, boy.
Okay, it's a little bit different.
The anticipation is killer.
There we go. I know. You're like dying from anticipation.
In my opinion, I'm going to say straight up fake.
Oh, yeah. They probably added the there's way too much like ecto, so to speak, whatever that is.
Yeah,
that would take an incredible amount of strength. I like that's fresh. This will be called Debunk of the Week show.
right.
That is very true.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one.
Yeah, I agree too. How do you think they did that exactly? It looks it almost even could be a little bit of the night aperture mode, because you can tell the fan's moving. It looks like it's in motion somewhat blurry at the top, which should mean the blades were moving.
Yeah.
And vape. Well, that's a good possibility. That's right. Thank you, Fresh.
But like, what is it vaping over though? A chair?
I guess that's what that is. Let me see here. Let me get a better look myself. Yeah, I see some clothes on top of it looks like a chair or daybed, maybe. Could it be a daybed remnant or couch? Maybe couch. Chair with a blanket on.
Yeah.
We have chair with a blanket on.
Because you see the hat in the background.
Oh, that's right. Yes, there's a hat back there. And Fresh has vaped a fan over a chair.
I agree with him. That sounds about legit right there. They just got the right picture
at the right time.
Yeah, with the smoke and everything. I'm a vapor, so.
And that's one thing where I'm glad, because I'm not. So some of that type of picture, I'm going to be slow to react on there. I don't think that possibility.
Like some of that smoke, if you get it at the right time, it's real white.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you would need to cover that amount of space for your picture. And with the smoke being that close, it would automatically cover more of the picture without having to be over the whole area.
Right. And I agree with that's fresh.
If it was slumped dead body, I would be thinking differently. I definitely agree. Oh, head over. Rabbit says head over lamp looks like fire starter. LOL. Maybe smoke. That's
It's
right. Though, don't
it,
all spirits go up?
right.
Uh, not sure.
I think they just got it at the right time because regardless of what it is, smoke would rise, and
Mhm.
vape smoke usually kind of tends to slowly rise. So,
Okay.
because I used to do vape tricks with my vape, and I can get it to stay in one spot.
Uh-huh. And your dad thinks it's superimposed. That's possible still.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one here. Soon we'll be hitting our broadcast clips here. All right. Now we have two more. This is also from Wizard Lopan on Reddit.
You need to find a different app because Reddit, I think, is a bunch of fake people.
Well, a lot of them do. I'm trying to get ones that at least are kind of asking, like they think there could be stuff, and we cover a little bit of this and a little bit of that as far as some of the
Right.
trickery involved. Um, for example, there's one picture, a friend of Mike Lucci's actually posted that had a figure like hovering over the counter, and the guy took complete credit for it, and you could clearly see a figure there and see through. And I said, "Fake, easy fake." And I felt kind of bad because Lucci knew who it was then, and a good friend of his. And I was like, "Ooh, I didn't really want to do that," but that was true. It was a total fake, easy to spot. I felt kind of bad. I gave the guy credit though; he took credit for it. I give him credit there. In this picture, we have an orb, which could be from dust, water, pollen, or
That's too solid.
not. I don't think it's not doesn't have its own energy. It'd be too. Be bright in the middle too. It's not bright all over the place to be a true energy orb.
I think it's too solid. Most orbs we see are usually almost transparent more than that.
Yes, I would agree. Um, okay, I think it's like probably dust. In a garage, it's probably dust,
Can you
possibly
do,
pollen. With the doors
can you
closed.
zoom in on it?
I'm sorry.
Can you zoom in on it?
Uh, I think I can. Hold on here. Oh yeah. Let me see. Oh, I can even move it. Okay, I didn't see. I haven't experimented with what I can do on this even myself.
Unless
You need me to zoom in more, or is that good enough?
if it's manifesting pretty strongly, that's a pretty good orb. Most orbs I've caught are pretty faint or see through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't. A lot of times you can see like dots
Right.
making up the orb. This one, I don't know. Maybe I'm harsh. I'm still a little leery on it. I think it's still probably um, a dust particle in the garage.
It could be. It's not painted on there, like photoshopped on there, because you'd be able to
I agree.
tell.
I agree. And if you're gonna Photoshop something on, you're going for the whole thing. You're not gonna just
Right.
put a little dot on there.
Right.
You're gonna like the other picture I said that the guy obviously photoshopped on. I'm gonna go get a picture of a ghost, or this was actually like a priest or a monk or something in the picture,
Right.
and I'm gonna make it translucent, put it right up on there, and make it really obvious because I don't because the fakesters think that you'll believe anything,
Yeah.
and some people will. Um, we do have We got some comments again here. We'll get to that in a moment. And we'll come right over here. We'll leave it the way it is. Rabbit says figuring out fake stuff is just as helpful as looking at real stuff. Oh, I agree. And also because so many people try different things to fake stuff.
Right.
And as it's going to be harder as more CGI and artificial intelligence, just like Bigfoot, making it harder to tell pictures. Okay, Fresh said it doesn't look like it's emitting energy, guys. I agree, because I think it'd be bright white, the whole thing.
Right.
Brandy, would there be a trail if it was an orb? The trail depends upon the aperture of the camera more than anything else. Because if you have that in night mode, it's going to be, the aperture needs to be open longer for a trail. I think that's what you're referring to.
You gotta have a quick camera too to be able to catch. It's got to be in like sport mode or something to be able to catch multiple images.
Yes. Fresh has been taken under flash.
I don't know about that. I think it'd be brighter than that.
IR conditions. That's like the night IR. Could still be an IR flash of some kind though, or that not necessarily flash, but they had the IR on with an IR camera, which would be the same thing because the light's always on.
Right.
Okay, Fresh says check the garage door.
That could be a reflection off of the IR lights, though.
Well, that's true too.
Because I have IR lights
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those lights look like they're directly hitting that spot.
You may not see it through your eyes, but when you look to, like, if you take a picture or something, the IRs will reflect off of metal.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yes. And you don't see it when you're shooting it.
Right.
Because you can't see the light. Rabbit says, dust or actual object, that light just hit right. And that's true.
It's whatever behind that orb, it's creating something.
And sparkles in other areas. Or sparkles other areas. Hold on. It says ring. Absolutely, yes. Top left, yeah. So it's all still off a security camera. Yeah, absolutely. Be good to see the whole video. So are we not seeing the whole video?
Right. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Is just this picture. That's all the guy submitted to Reddit. At least that's all I was aware of finding anyway, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't go off of one picture. You need to be able to send like a video or multiple pictures of the same area.
I always tell people take at least 3 pictures.
Right.
You need it for comparison purposes. It's so much of the time you need it for comparison to take notice to a difference. Because that's what allows you to take notice to a difference. And just one picture it makes it tough.
It makes a huge difference when you take 3 pictures.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why I stress that.
I always take 3 pictures. Even my family does.
Yes, you guys do. You guys learn from the best, I might add.
Yeah.
I know the guy who stretched on you guys, your family, to take 3 pictures every time.
I still have photos from the library in Sunbury.
I'm sorry?
I still have photos from the library in Sunbury.
Oh, wow. That was a cool place.
Yeah, it was. I got a good picture. I sent you that, or my dad did.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm sure you did. I don't remember top of my head. I'm sorry.
I'll resend it.
Okay, this video is labeled, what is this? From Reddit user cheap whore.
What?
I was kind of like, well, that's what the name is, though. So that's what we say.
Sure.
We'll look at that again. I think that's it. Yeah. Whoops. We'll go back
I'd like to know what that first part was, and not the second part.
You mean when the what looks like a bat flies by?
Yeah.
I'm not getting it on time. Here we go. Go back 1 second here.
Can you slow the video down?
Here we go.
Right there, right? Yeah. That's hard to interpret what that is.
I guess that could be a moth too, really, couldn't it?
Could be, but the shape of it, unless if it was flapping, but they need a better camera for that.
Yeah, this is from Nest Camera. It's a bat. Hey, Daryl! How are you, my man? Daryl McLean, the guy who taught me a lot about ghost hunting. Glad you tuned in, Daryl. I'm glad. I got to talk to you sometime. I mean, talk to you, but I don't know your work schedule. So that's why I've been leery to talk to you or send you a message. I don't want to wake you up. But anyway, sorry on that. I had to talk to Daryl because he's the man.
I don't know. That don't look like a moth.
Well, I think, and Daryl, we'll get down to it in a moment. Daryl thinks it might be a bat, and I kind of agree with the size. And as it gets a little bit distance away from the camera,
I was gonna say it flew pretty quick, and it is pretty big.
Yeah.
But the apparition after that.
Oh shoot! Apparition after that? That's someone walking.
No, that's an apparition.
Where's the apparition?
Right there. That's a drunk one.
Oh yeah. Yes, definitely a drunk. I would agree. Definitely a drunk apparition. Oh my. All right. All right. We have fresh. Not being shown the whole evidence tells you maybe something. That's true. That always makes you wonder
True.
when you only get like one picture. And a still is just a still.
Yeah.
Rabbit, I have to go. Been fun. Nice meeting you all. Take care. Thank you, Rabbit, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Brian Schaffner. Hey, Brian, how are you? Another member of the team.
Holy cow.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
How about it?
That's right. Yes. Absolutely. And Daryl. Awesome, man. Thank you for tuning in. And Bat as well. Yeah, I think I agree. Good. All right. And your dad says moth, though.
Nah. That flew too quick to be a moth.
Too big looking to be a moth or a moth to me. Doing good. Thought I'd stop in. Hey, thank you, Brian. And again, Daryl, appreciate. Daryl's the man, like I said.
Yeah, that ain't a moth. That's too big, unless if it's close to the camera.
Correct.
I mean, it could be.
All right, now we get to the broadcast. The first one has a familiar host. Don't know who that might be. It might be yours truly from Paranormal Files. When Michael and I talked to James Annitto, he's going to state his thoughts on Bigfoot. In just one moment here, when I bring it up. I haven't done too much plugging of our own shows here, really, but what are the chances Bigfoot looks like the Bigfoot creature from Harry and the Hendersons? I would think actually pretty good if it exists. Fairly close, I would think. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. One of the things is, I just talked about television's not my thing, but I was actually on an episode of Finding Bigfoot. Okay. So I do like cryptozoology. I'm very into biology and zoology. I always tell the story about the mountain gorilla being found in Japan over 100 years ago. And, it was always a myth until they actually stumbled across it. It is quite possible that Bigfoot could look how it's interpreted or how it's been cited. There's really, to me, not really enough photographic or video evidence of such a being or such an animal. But the one thing that I always say, because I love anthropological viewpoints and I love anthropology, I'm a social science guy. That's why the psychology degree. But I think if you look at the cultural context throughout the whole entire world, especially Native American cultures, you know, from Siberia to North America to South America to Africa, there is a similar creature in every single one of those cultures. And some of those cultures at one point never really had communication with each other that we know of. Maybe they did, something we haven't figured out yet. But you know, for every culture to have a very similar animalistic being, as what we call Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, skunk ape, so on and so on. But yeah, I think it could exist, and I definitely think it could look like Harry and the Henderson. Probably not as goofy looking, but you know, I think that it's quite possible that it does exist. And I don't know about finding it and studying it. As humans, I'm very wary about that because we you know, I feel if we found a Bigfoot, we kill the damn thing and then research it. And I really am not privy to that, you know, because I know how humans are. We'll probably shoot the damn thing and dissect it.
All right. Also, in case I forget, anyone's here, please feel free to help us out. If you could take and give us a thumbs up if you haven't already, that would be great. Thank you. All right. Our next broadcast comes from Dave Schrader, the Paranormal 60. He's interviewing Lily Nova, who is a UFO experiencer and photographer.
What did you start to notice?
Whoops, one moment here.
Do you really think people would shoot at it though? A Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot would what?
Do you really think people would shoot at the Bigfoot?
Yes. Well, because that's the best way to prove it. I think a lot of people believe it, and I do too.
Yeah, but if they were scared enough, though, don't you think they'd run away from it, though?
Mm-hmm.
If they were
I think
scared
that's
of,
the best way to prove it really exists.
right?
I mean, is it mean? Maybe a bad idea? Yes, but if you want to prove it, I don't know if it's anything short of that would do it.
Right.
Even I'm highly skeptical of because there's so much in between evidence, nothing super concrete. The
Right.
Henderson Gimlin video, I'm highly skeptical on. They have a camera out, literally out in the open in the middle of the woods.
Right.
Like you're prepared for it to come right out. That doesn't seem logical to me, or at least to me, that it decreases the likelihood of it being a legitimate video.
Right. True.
That's my thought. Which that doesn't mean it's not legitimate. I could be dead wrong.
Right.
That's the beauty of it. We don't know the truth yet.
Well,
Probably never will know it either.
time will come.
Yep.
Yeah, you explained it pretty well. It is like just like a giant ocean of stars. And whenever, sorry, my cat has brought a ball in here.
We appreciate cats in this household, so we're good.
Yeah, it was just
I'm gonna turn the volume up.
drive about an hour out from the city, from your city, to go see the Milky Way, and it just blew my mind. So I fell absolutely in love with it. And then I just wanted to explore it, and you can actually take pictures of this. This is crazy. Through, a big lens. I had a 300 millimeter lens.
I don't think I can turn the volume up. Let me see here.
You could see, you take a bunch of photos and you stack them together, but you can see these deep space objects.
Yeah, it's about the same here.
Is that any better?
Beautiful. So I just fell madly in love.
To me, it's about the same, but if you
Okay.
listen closely, you can hear it.
Okay.
Appear while I was doing this. So as they started appearing, I actually started capturing evidence with my camera.
Now, when you say visitors appearing, are we talking about craft or are we talking about beings?
UFOs. It was UFOs or
Okay.
UFOs. And then as time went on, I began receiving a communication from them in through telepathic vision. So they would send me visions of what they looked like, so then I could see them. And as I developed, I can now see them, not physically manifested in front, but these beings are from other dimensions, higher dimensions. So now I can see them often in another dimension, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm not here to judge what makes sense or not. It's everybody's experience.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by it. You say it so passively, and it's funny to me, and I'm sure many of the listeners, you're like, oh yeah, then they telepathically send me messages and I can see them. I'm sure that wasn't your first basic reaction, right? When you started having messages and started seeing things, walk us through what that was like for you, please.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really crazy. In the beginning, it was very much like physical, physically seeing the craft. So I'll briefly share my first ever UFO experience. It was, I'm in the suburbs. It was late at night. I was going on a space photography trip the next night at about 1:50 a.m. I felt called to go outside and look at the stars before bed. And whenever I went out there, I looked up the stars like I always do. And then I linked eyes with a craft, a light. It looked like a big, bright light that was just kind of moving around slightly. And then I was investigating it for a minute. And I'm like, whoa, that's kind of weird. It's not like a star or a planet. It's too big. It's moving, but there's no blinking light. So it's not like a normal aircraft. And it's moving in a circular, like the cliche hovering motion.
All right. In the meantime, I'm going back to the moth. Fresh said, I don't know, some moths are bigger than some bats. I've seen some great freaking natures, and I wasn't out on the town. All right. We have one more broadcast. This is Eric Woods of the new Eric Woods podcast. He just renamed it from Paranormal Highway. He's going to talk about his opinion on whistleblower Jason Sands and other questionable people in the world of possible UFO fakery.
Oh boy.
Oh yes, as always, we're getting some of the good stuff here.
That last video, I don't know.
He goes on a little bit of a rant here, to say the least.
Oh, country boy.
Like, this is
Oh yeah.
cold. Right now, it's freezing cold, especially when I am out in the house. But I'm not talking about whistleblower UFOs. Why not be where the birthplace of the Maury Island? Jason Sands. I'm going to tell you guys my opinion. This guy is just a new flavor of the year. David Grush was last year. Of course, he makes claims that he knows David Grush. Boom, right. That should tell you right there. Boom, out. Guy should be out. No, listen. Now, Jason Sands is doing something great. He's going on channels. Even, I don't know, I'm not saying the size of a channel matters, but he's going on all these channels. Why? Because what happens is people are on a fence by him. When you get him on a show, you're not on a fence no more. You're behind him. It happens by default. It happens all the time. That's why a lot of people go on people's show, because you, as the host, becomes like a book writer for him. You become like, oh man, this is amazing. Wow, that is. When you know in yourself, you're talking to a bullshitter. You're talking to a con man.
I like his words.
Right.
So much money did they make? Listen, this was James Fox. Everybody know James Fox? He's the fake UFO documentary guy who made false UFO documentaries. You guys know that? Everybody knows James Fox is a joke in the community. They know that he's not real. He's in it for the money. He's another Jeremy Corbell. We all know this. But people don't care.
Because there's the camera, there's fake footages, fake stories, everybody believes. James Fox makes a comment about Jason Sands. He's in like gold. It's like this group. Listen, I want the truth just as much as you guys do. I want the UFO truth. I really, truly do.
Don't we all?
Absolutely. And that's why that was an excellent excellent comment. The way he put it.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Greer. Yeah, he's amongst the group that is highly questionable. The humans love and lap up to sensationalism. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And all kinds of things. It's not even just in the paranormal world. All right.
Right.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. We also I have one more thing for you before we work our way on out of here. I did a story on the Men in Black.
Oh boy.
Yep. I'll play that and we'll talk about that for a little bit. This is pre-recorded, by the way. This week, trying out. Got to stop myself. I was jumping the gun.
I have a comment about that, but I'm going to hold it.
You have a comment on it?
Yeah, but I'll hold it.
All right. Here we go.
Let's see this.
This week, trying out a new segment, a topical thing related to the paranormal. This time it's the Men in Black. In 1997, Men in Black hit theaters, a science fiction comedy based on a Marvel comic series starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. The film tells the story of an NYPD officer who unwittingly chases down a disguised alien and is recruited to join a top secret organization. The real Men in Black are said to be shadowy, secretive figures dressed in dark suits who visit witnesses of strange paranormal phenomena, usually those who claim to see UFOs. They usually come in groups of 2 or 3, allegedly threatening witnesses to ensure they remain silent about what they've seen. Some have claimed the MIBs are government agents, but otherwise believe they may in fact be shape-shifting aliens in disguise. The first mention of Men in Black can be traced back to June 27, 1947, and a man named Harold Dahl, in what came to be known as the Maury Island UFO incident. According to Dahl's account, Dahl was on a conservation mission gathering logs with his son Charles near the eastern shore of Maury Island, Washington, in Puget Sound. As he was working, Dahl claimed he saw 6 donut-shaped objects hovering in the air, roughly half a mile above his boat. Before he could make sense of what he was seeing, one of the objects fell from the sky, dropping a barrage of metallic debris. Some of the debris, Charles and Dahl snapped several photographs of the flying objects. When the men were back on land, Dahl showed the photographs to his supervisor, Fred Crispin. Crispin was skeptical, but when he went to investigate the scene for himself, he allegedly saw one of the strange flying objects hovering before him. The next morning, Dahl claimed he was visited by a man in a black suit who was able to describe Dahl's experience in eerily accurate detail. The man then said to him, "What I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe." Before leaving, the man warned Dahl that bad things would happen to him if he would ever speak of the incident. Although both Dahl and Crispin later said the incident was a hoax, it did little to stop conspiracy theorists and ufologists from looking into it. Those who believed in UFO conspiracies often looked to the Men in Black as some kind of proof that these phenomena were true. If a witness was threatened, that made them more believable. The logic went, after all, why would someone try to silence something if it weren't true? This understanding of UFO phenomena and the Men in Black as folklore or cultural mythology was furthered by a 1957 report from famed psychoanalyst Carl Jung. Flying saucers, a modern myth of things seen in the skies. While Jung never argued for or against the existence of UFOs, he noted our time is characterized by fragmentation, confusion, and perplexity. At such times, men's eyes turn to heaven for help, and marvelous signs appear from on high. UFO stories evolved culturally as well, as more films, television shows, novels, comics, and eventually video games took UFOs and extraterrestrial life to greater heights. Like so much else in the conversation regarding UFOs, the men in black changed over time. No longer simply government agents offering a warning. They are mysterious entities unto themselves, seemingly human and inhuman at the same time. The transformation of the story from a first press report to a folkloric tale to a comic book and now to a film illustrates how the myth is transformed. Quote Pat wrote the New York Times in 1997, around the time Men in Black hit theaters. That process is not unlike the children's game of telephone or what the literary critic Harold Bloom calls innovation by misinterpretation. The period when the saucer phenomenon was new is now quite a reference. In the quarter century since Men in Black release, it too has become a point of reference. Stories of the real Men in Black don't circulate as often now as they did in the mid-20th century. Partly because the mere concept has been turned into something of a joke. Still, in the midst of the UFO cultural zeitgeist, the Men in Black were for a time a key part of the conversation, and claiming to encounter them was tantamount to proving that you really had seen aliens. All right. The thing that bothered me about some of the other claims are that they drive like vintage 1950s, like fresh off out of the factory cars. For one thing on that, you never see pictures. I've never seen any picture of the Men in Black cars. And even those pictures, and you know what? Maybe we're wearing a mask. You and I could do it. If you're probably a little taller than me, though, I think. Everyone's taller than me. Everyone's taller than me. But
I'm not.
I guess you're not. But if we wore the same mask, we wore the trench coat stuff, we walked into a bank or whatever like that, video surveillance footage, we look just like Men in Black.
Or criminals.
Yeah, there wouldn't be much difference to it. So I'm highly skeptical of it. And like you never see a complete story for them. It's always just pictures of them out and about.
Right.
You don't quite see enough to totally legitimize them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And off of that, Fresh says, is it easier to fool someone or harder to convince them they've been fooled? That's a good question. And when I first read this during the video there, I nodded my head because I liked it. I wonder how many stories have been created around the world to attract visitors from mere revenue gathering and induced indoctrination.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's absolutely right. Oh, excuse me. All right. And we have one more thing.
I think there'd be more with the Men in Black.
You think there'd be more with the Men in Black? Go ahead. What you were going to say something earlier that about it.
I feel if it were real, there'd be more to it than just a movie. I mean, yeah, I understand they're trying to keep it under wraps, but I think some stuff would be exposed.
Oh, I definitely agree. Usually something gets out.
Right.
Eventually, at least a little bit.
Right.
Maybe not a whole lot, but all right. We have now my ghost story. This comes from Chillingham Castle in the United Kingdom. Yeah, oops, I got to share it. There we go. Now we should be good to go. Oops. Ghost story segment. This also comes from the Paranormal Daily News. It's called Ghost Story.
I can barely hear the video feed on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everybody loves capsules, especially haunted capsules. They're an avid fan of medieval history. All right. Fantasy novels for movies, ancient buildings and growth. We'll cancel that. I will try to re-enter it as and boost the volume up on Filmora and re-release it on its own is what I'm going to do.
Most of your videos that you're showing, you need to boost the volume up on it.
All right, I will do that. I can do that. That's Fresh goes when we look at fits being predictive programming or to maybe take the piss out of something to make it appear to be stupid and a mockery.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about all the material I have for tonight. We're going to take and in case if you're watching and you haven't, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up if you watched this far. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel or your location. Mockery of Films. Okay, that makes sense.
Let us know what more you want to see.
Yes. Also, thank you, chat. You
No
guys are
problem.
great, as always. And thank you guys for coming and visiting us tonight. And I think that's about it. We should be back in 2 weeks. Next week should be the premiere of Paranormal Files with Michael Purcell. I am not sure if he's going to have a guest or not. He was going to just talk on his own if he didn't have a guest. And do you have anything to add by chance, Chad?
If you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to see, hit us up.
Absolutely. Please put it in the comments. Even if you're watching on demand on later, put in the comments what you'd like to see more of. We greatly appreciate it. It would also help us as far as the YouTube algorithm goes as well.
Questions, videos, ideas, anything you guys can help us with to improve our website.
Absolutely. I think we're going to end up with a CARC Facebook page because we can no longer broadcast to the group because of a meta change on Facebook.
Go figure. Meta change.
Yes, we cannot broadcast to the group, but you can broadcast to pages on Meta or Facebook. So they made some kind of a change.
It's always a change.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's some kind of money connection involved there for
Obviously.
Meta as well. There almost has to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to add. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to work our way out. Do you have anything to add by chance, Chad?
No, everything was good.
All right. We're going to work our way out of here. Thank you for watching and so long.
This has been a CARC Universal production.